And I'm going to replace that thing with a one-piece hardened metal one. Cost me $173. Those cheap ones, $20, $25. I don't even remember what I paid for that. Second one I've had this problem with. Don't get the cheap stuff, folks. Spend the big bucks. The one I'm getting is from Ford Performance, and it's a hardened steel one. Welcome back to Dan's Messy Garage. I'm going to work some more on my 67 Falcon with a 302. Today I'm going to be pulling the front of the engine off, the timing cover, to get to the broken fuel pump eccentric. It's a two-piece system, and the outer ring is wore out and broke, and it's doing a lot of clacking in there. So I got to pull off the front of the engine, replace that. I've already taken out the bolts on the oil pan because I'm going to drop the oil pan as far as I can and get magnets and clean out any debris that could be in the oil pan. It's going to get really hot and humid here today, so I got to get to it. I got to stay hydrated as I do this. And I'm just going to tear into it and get it done. I got a lot of the bolts out. You don't have to take the water pump off the timing cover. You can leave a couple bolts in that hold that to it. I did have to pull the alternator off so I could get the dipstick tube out of the timing cover. And I took the battery cable off because that alternator's got a battery lug on it, and if that touches something, it's going to be Spark City and cables melting and nothing good. I think I've got a lot of the bolts out of this. Hope enough to get it off. The bolts are out of the bottom of it that go into the oil pan, and I loosened the oil pan, and I just saw a big chunk of the eccentric fall into the oil pan. This was a two-piece fuel pump eccentric. It's made out of really crap steel, overseas steel. It wore through, broke that off, and then this part was just banging around on the oil pump shaft. So I need to fish out the pieces that fell down in the oil pan. Now see, I got the oil pan loose. So I'm going to get some magnets and suck all the pieces out of there. Now I'm going to replace that thing with a one piece hardened metal one. Cost me $173, but it should be here tomorrow. Those cheap ones, $20, $25. I don't even remember what I paid for that. That's the second one I've had this problem with. Don't get the cheap stuff, folks. Spend the big bucks. The one I'm getting is from Ford Performance, and it's a hardened steel one. Okay, this is the chunk that fell down into the oil pan. So now I got to drop the oil pan, get a magnet, and clean everything up. Now I know I have a good sized magnet in the oil pan, and that should have collected any of the other particles and fragments. The oil screen should have separated chunks from getting up into the oil pump. But this is a pain in the butt. So all I can do today, remove the rest of this, drop the oil pan a little more, get in there and clean all that out. I have the oil pan dropped down. I have it all cleaned out. I took 3 cans of starting fluid, make sure it's super clean in there. And I cleaned the magnet off. I got some metal filings and the pieces of the fuel pump eccentrics. So right now I'm just waiting for the new fuel pump eccentric to get here, and I can put this together. But it's over 90 degrees, and when my car is, as soon as that sun clears that big tree, the shade, I'm gonna move here. This will be in the sun, and I can't work here in the sun. It's hot enough right now. So this is all I can do until my part arrives. The one piece eccentric is in. It's a hardened steel, real thick piece. Heavy. It has the same outside diameter as the 2-piece, which makes perfect sense. It would kind of have to have it. Same diameter. I'm deep into the assembly now. I got my timing cover water pump situated on there. The new eccentric is in. Oil pan is bolted up. I still need to put on the balancer and the pulleys and accessories. The accessories are where I'm going crazy, scratching my head here. I know I took this apart a couple days ago, and I figured out that this bracket's got to go here. So that means it gets bolted down there. But in order to get this far, I had to go back in time and look at my pictures, because I've taken so many things apart over the last few months, different cars, different projects. And even though I just took this apart a few days ago, I don't remember how it came apart, what bolt went where, and things like that. But I got a handle on it now, so I'm going to continue on. I don't have much longer today. That shadow is creeping up because the sun is going to poke out from behind that big tree. So I only got maybe an hour left to get as much done today as possible. Alright, people. I'm hotter than heck, sweating like crazy. Got a lot of it figured out. I just had to kind of go one bolt at a time, put it where it belonged, and then that only left me with a couple choices to go in the other spots, and it all worked out. But I am done for today. The sun is, I don't know if you can see it, but it's right here at the edge of the car. And like right here, I'm in the sun. So I can't work out here anymore. It's just too hot and humid. It's been in the 90s the last couple days. It's supposed to be in the high 90s today. The humidity's already thick. So I'm going to stop for today, come back for tomorrow, and button this up. All right, it's the next day. I don't even know how many days I've been at this because I can't work very long each day. Today I'm going to start putting on the air conditioning compressor, hooking all the lines up. That's the compressor mount here, and it needs to be spaced correctly to get this 8-rib belt to line up. I'm going to dig through some pictures that I took specifically for this when I was taking it apart. I wasn't smart enough to put marks on this or take a better picture, but that's going to slide there. Take a straight edge, put it across the surfaces of my power steering pump. Looks like it's going to line up. So yes, I had the wrong spacer in there. So put that in there. And of course I can't get that bolt in with the pulley on. See, bolt's got to go in that hole. Pulley's in the way. I got to take the fan and pulley off in order to put that bolt in there. 2 steps forward, 3 steps back. I took the fan and pulleys off and got that bolt in. Now I need to crawl under here and get the lower radiator hose and transmission cooler lines hooked up. As I fill the cooling system here, I go through a mental checklist of everything I hooked up. Like, do I remember hooking up both radiator hoses? Yes, I think. Trying to remember if I tighten this one on the water pump. Yeah. Okay, so I can continue. hooked up the trans lines. I have heater hose back on. Little bypass hose goes from water pump to the intake manifolds on. This thing tends to splash a lot. Putting fresh 50/50 mix in. I buy the concentrate and then mix it up in older jugs. Radiator's bolted down, fan shroud's on, fan's tight, belts are tight. AC's plugged in, AC lines are not hooked up yet. In fact, I can do that while this gurgulates here. Fingers all oily and I can't grab that. So I'm going to tighten things up, get my air conditioning evacuation pump and vacuum down that system. I finished charging up the air conditioning system. Got everything hooked up, put away. It's hot out here. It's hot. I'm in the sun. And I'm glad I got things put away. I'm also glad that this is the end of this episode of Dan's Messy Garage. Please stay tuned to my channel for future projects, videos, and updates. Bye.